the open wheel world to me is still, kind of uncharted territory that I would love to explore one day. But my focus is on this right here, driving the Cup car specifically and the Nationwide car, and being able to win a championship. And I would have to check some boxes in my life and in my career before I would pursue that path. But it's certainly something I pay attention to and like to watch and enjoy. I still get caught up in the Formula One world and the IndyCar world, and follow it when I can. But I'm not going to let that be a distraction to my main goal and the goal of everyone at Penske Racing, to win a Sprint Cup championship. And right now we're full steam ahead on that effort. I was lucky to be in the sport in a position where I was in the shadows, to where I could see what was going on and see those who were successful and learn from them. My family, I think it's documented that they had a truck team as I was growing up, and I worked on it as either a low-level mechanic, or I guess you could call me a grunt of some sort, a small grunt, because I'm not a big guy. And we had this one driver by the name of Terry Cook, who's still in the sport today. And, I learned almost as much from him as I did anyone else in this sport. But probably most importantly, I learned from him the relationship with the media and sponsors that it takes to, keep all that group happy, and how he managed that. Something that I certainly studied a lot to your point, and thankful for that experience with him. I wish it would have worked out a little bit easier along the way, but along the way there was some failures of sorts on my end, things I didn't do as well as I could as it pertains to relationship with whether it's the media or the fans or sponsors. And I think I learned from experience as much as anything else. And there were some good and bad ones along the way that got me to thinking about it for sure.
Jeff Gluck from SBNation.com. After Martinsville, you're pretty fired up about the Rudiman situation.
Sure. Having
seen his explanation and Tommy Baldwin and all this stuff, have you rethought that, or do you still feel the same way?
I thought about it a little bit. I guess, when it comes to situations like that, I always try to put myself in that person's position and say, what would I do? And I sure as hell would not have done what he did. And even knowing all the point stuff, I still wouldn't have done what he did. So I don't understand it. I don't know what he was thinking. And at the end of the day, he's the one who holds the steering wheel. I don't care who tells you what. At the end of the day, you hold the steering wheel and push the pedals. You make the decision.
Toby
Christie, Signify.com. You're huge in social media. How integral and important has Twitter and things like that become to auto racing? And kind of secondly, NASCAR's the most popular driver award. Should they kind of tool an award to the most influential driver on social media every year?
Should they tool it to anything? I don't think they should tool it to anything or anyone, other than the fans. And if the fans feel like social media is worthy of, or a driver that is strong in social media is worthy of, more popularity, then they'll vote in that way. But yeah, I think that social media is very important to the sport. I think it's very important to future generations and to increasing the younger demographic in our sport. I think it's well documented that that's very much needed. And I'm glad to be, at least what I feel like, somewhat at the forefront of that effort. Well, I think if I was to look at drivers that have a respectable opportunity, you certainly would have to look at Cole, and you'd have to look at Ricky Stenhouse. And we'll see how that develops as it pertains to Cup. But they have an opportunity at the nationwide level. But I think they're probably the only two that fit that criteria you spoke of. So we'll just see how it plays out. But, it's hard to define how strong an opportunity they have. Obviously, Ricky's is pretty strong. I shouldn't say it's hard to define his. He's got a great car and a great team over there, and he's a threat to win on any given week if they can all put it together and execute. And really, that's anyone. It's hard to define how good an opportunity Cole's got. I've worked over there on the junior motorsports team and enjoyed my time, but a lot has changed since I've been there. So I don't know how good an opportunity that is or is not. So I guess time will tell. But I think those are the only two that fit that criteria.